What is up, guys? UFC 232 is this weekend. John Jones versus Gustafsson, Cyborg versus Nunes. The fight card is absolutely unreal. This is the best fight card I've seen all year. It's a shame that it got moved from Vegas to Inglewood. They're making $5 million less than on gate sales. It's a shame, but the fight's going to happen. I'm very excited about it. So I'm going to talk about this weekend's fights. My picks for this weekend. There's a very good fights this weekend. Very even. A lot of money to be made. But the first fight I want to talk about is Brian Kelleher versus Motel Jackson. Brian Kelleher is the underdog going into this fight at 135, plus 135, versus Montel Jackson, who's 6-1 in the UFC. Montel Jackson just recently lost to Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone is a very low-level fighter in the UFC. Brian Kelleher has fought guys like Kenan Brown beat him, Julio Arce and beat him. Julio Arce is a fucking killer right now in the UFC division. But yeah, Brian Kelleher going into this fight is the underdog. I'm taking Brian Kelleher in this fight. I think he's a fighter. Sure, he just lost to Hands of Stone, John Lineker, but that's not really saying much. John Lineker's a top 5 guy. Brian Kelleher is a top 15 guy. Montel Jackson's not. I think Brian Kelleher wins this fight by decision. He has a very good stand-up, very good ground. He's an all-around good fighter, and Montel Jackson I don't think is ready for that yet. He's not on that level yet, and I think Brian Kelleher gets it done by decision. Plus 135 underdog. I'm putting a little bit of money on it. Second fight I got Curtis Millender versus Siyar. Siyar is very old. He's been in the UFC for a while. Not many people know about him, but he takes fights like once every 2-3 years. Like it's not often. He doesn't fight often. Curtis Millender is a top 15 welterweight right now. He just fought Max Griffin, beat him. He just fought Thiago Alves and beat him by knockout. Curtis Millender is a high level top 15 guy. Sahar is not. Sahar has fought middleweight, lightweight. He's fought all over the place. The guy is not doesn't know what he wants to do. Sahar never fights. He's just looking for a big fight right now, and he finally got gifted it with Curtis Millender. Both these guys are right outside top 15. Whoever wins this fight probably will be placed in the top 15. That being said, Curtis Millender is the bigger, stronger guy. Curtis Millender gets this fight done. Minus 145 favorite. I'm putting my money on Curtis Millender. I'm putting a decent amount on it, too. Second fight I got, Uriah Hall and Bevon Lewis. Von Lewis changed out of Jackson Wink MMA with John Jones. Everyone's saying he's the next John Jones. He's undefeated, 185, 6'3". He's huge for the weight class. The guy's real. But he's going against Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall is a very predominant striker, and so is Bevon Lewis. It's going to be a great striking battle. With that being said, the fight, I'm pretty sure the odds for this fight are pretty even. Let me look at it. Yeah, it's even. Set at even. I'm not betting on it. I'm betting the over, though. The over set at 1.5. It's minus 170. This fight for sure will go over 1.5. They're both stand-up guys. Most of the time we got two stand-up guys going at it. For the first round, they normally like to feel each other out. Bevon Lewis, he needs to establish himself in the UFC, so I think he's going to take this time to work his striking. He's going to work his experience in the octagon under the lights under such a big card. I think he's going to want to push this fight to distance. He's going to want to work Uriah Hall cardio a little bit. Yeah, with that being said, I think it's going to go over 1.5 rounds. That's set at minus 170. I think that's also a for sure lock. I'm throwing a bit of money on that. The fight for itself, I'm not betting on it. You could, but if I'm going to bet on this fight, I'm taking Bevon Lewis, especially at even. It's a great fight, though. Uriah Hall loses fights all the time, though. I feel like he doesn't even care about his record anymore. Bevon Lewis is out here trying to make history. He's trying to be the next John Jones out of Jackson Wink MMA. Next fight I'm betting on is Ryan Hall and BJ Penn. I know the odds are absolutely insane for this fight, and they're really dumb. BJ Penn is old. He looked like shit against Yair Rodriguez. He looked like shit against Dennis Seaver. The fight is not going to go the distance. Ryan Hall is going to finish this fight. BJ Penn is old. I don't think his conditioning can even last 3 rounds anymore. Ryan Hall is the wizard on the ground. He is one of the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioners in MMA right now. I think he's better BJJ practitioner than BJ Penn, even though BJ Penn was a 3-year black belt awardee and one of the fastest people to ever get their black belt in the United States history. But yeah, with that being said, Ryan Hall's going to win this fight. It's going to be a very high-level ground fight. You're going to see a lot of great jiu-jitsu in this fight. But yeah, Ryan Hall's going to get it done. He's going to finish him. And it's set at 2.5. I'm not putting a ton of money on this. I'm putting on the under at 2.5, because it could go the distance. Ryan Hall isn't a very aggressive fighter, but yeah, it's set at plus 180. But I think Ryan Hall doesn't fight often. He asked for this fight. Ryan Hall fights once every 2 years, and he wants this fight. He wants a guy. He wants a legend like BJ Penn. He wants someone to make his name off of. So he wants to finish him. He wants to establish himself in the lightweight division. So I think this is a big fight for him. Ryan Hall is going to get it done by submission within the earlier rounds. Plus 180 is the under. I'm throwing some money on it. The next fight I bet on is Walt Harris versus Andre the Pitbull Arlovski. The Pitbull has been looking kind of sluggish lately. He's getting older now. He's getting fatter now. Walt Harris is a fucking giant dude. He's a big boy. He's been in there with Fabrizio Verdun, so he's had some experience with top level guys. Andre's been in there with everyone, but we know if you followed Andre Arlovski's career, he's very streaky. He'll win 5 fights in a row, then he'll lose 4 fights in a row. He'll win 3 fights in a row, then he'll lose 2 fights in a row. He's just a very streaky fighter. He likes to fight when he needs to. This is going to be a stand-up battle at first, and I think Walt Harris is going to take over. I think Walt Harris wins this fight, minus 165. The Pitbull's declining in his career. Sure, he's fought high-level guys, but I just don't think the Pitbull can get it done against Walt Harris, the much bigger guy. Walt Harris gets this one done. I think this is his breakout party, minus 165. Next fight I'm betting on is Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson. Why I'm betting on this fight is because styles make matchups. Corey Anderson is a high-level wrestler, don't get me wrong, but Ilir Latifi is one of the strongest wrestlers that anyone's ever faced in their life. Daniel Cormier, Olympic caliber wrestler, has trained with Ilir Latifi, and he has said word for word that he is the strongest man I've ever put my hands on. Ilir Latifi is one of the strongest guys in the UFC at 205. I think he's one of the strong. I think if he was in the heavyweight division, he'd still be one of the strongest guys in the division. Ilir Latifi is one of the greatest wrestlers in MMA. Corey Anderson, sure, he likes to push the pressure and push the pace, but his strengths are Ilir's strengths, and I think Ilir has his strengths are just stronger. That's all. I think he's a better wrestler. I think he's got a better heart too. Not only that, he's in a camp right now with Alexander Gustafsson, who's training for the fight of his life. Both these guys are taking this card very seriously. They've known about this fight for a very long time. Ilir Latifi gets the job done. Minus 165. Oh no, minus 145. Ooh, even better. But yeah, Ilir Latifi gets the job done. And the last fight I'm betting on is Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes. Minus 265 in favor of Chris Cyborg right now. I'm not betting that though. I'm betting the over on this fight. The over set at 2.5, minus 150. Chris Cyborg, the reason why this is so low is Chris Cyborg comes out and blows past all her opponents. But Tanya Evinger lasted 3.5 rounds with Chris Cyborg. Holly Holm lasted 5 rounds with Chris Cyborg. Amanda Nunes is a high caliber fighter, and she's going to last over 2.5 rounds with Chris Cyborg. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Chris Cyborg is going to look into this fight to take it a little bit slow. She knows it's a 5-round fight, and she knows she's not going to she's not going to blow through her like she did with Tanya Evinger or Yana Kutasai or whatever her name was. But yeah, Cyborg is going to take this fight, and I think she's going to win it. But I think it's going to go over 2.5. It's going to be a very competitive fight. I think it could go 5 rounds too. On top of that, I don't think Cyborg's going to come in there and finish Amanda Nunes right away like everyone thinks she might. Amanda Nunes is a very, very powerful bantamweight herself. She could even get the job done as well. But it's going to be a competitive fight, and when competitive fights happen, when you got 2 fighters that are in there that are trying to kill each other, they last a little longer. They don't last that long, or they last a little longer. So yeah, I got over 2.5 for Chris Cyborg. I think it's set at over 2.5 rounds. It's set at minus 150, I believe, right now. But yeah, I'm putting my money on that. Then I want to talk about the main event for a little bit. I'm not betting on the main event, but it's such a good fight. I'm going to talk about it just in case you guys want to bet on it. It's a very, very even fight. Don't let the odds fool you. Both guys are huge. John Jones is not normally used to facing guys that are 6'5". That's why he struggled with his length and his reach at first. The boxing, the footwork of Alexander Gustafsson is uncomparable. John Jones is one of the greatest wrestlers in MMA all time. With that being said, Gustafsson took him down, though. This fight is very even, go back and forth. I could talk about either guy winning this fight, but I'm trying to encourage you guys not to throw money on this because this fight could go either way. It's set at over 4.5 rounds. I think it could go the under, though. I think Alexander Gustafsson's going to have a pace that comes out right away trying to finish John Jones. I don't think he's going to try pushing this fight 5 rounds. I think John Jones also looking for the finish as well. I don't think this fight I don't think it can go the distance again. I don't see it going the distance again. After watching the first fight, watching what happened, I was astonished to see both of them standing at the end. I think these guys both have too much class and too much power not to finish one another. Um, this is gonna be a great fight. I can't wait. This is the fight of the year, the last card of the year. We're entering 2019. ESPN's gonna be, or UFC's gonna be on ESPN. Like shit's getting good with UFC. This is a great fight, and I think my personal opinion, John Jones wins, just because he's John Jones and no one can beat John Jones. But if someone's gonna do it, someone's gonna beat him. This is the guy. So yeah, those are my fight picks for this weekend. UFC 232, Inglewood, California, December 29th. Hope you guys tune in.